Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. New Agents of Atlas, a companion, this issue number 3 of 4, the companion comic book to go along with the War of the Realms. This was a good one. This is, when I mean that, I mean in twofold, all right? This is a good companion book to go with the War of the Realms because they're handling an entirely different subject matter there. More than that, I'm seeing some good out of this. I still got an issue with something that was said before the first book even came out, but we'll get into that in a little bit. First, let's talk about who made the comic book. Then I'll talk to you about why this could potentially be one of the most important 4-issue limited series companion books to an event ever. I wouldn't go quite that far, but let's talk about who made this book, all right? We got Fire and Ice, Chapter 3. Written by Greg Pak, drawn by Gang-Hyuk Lim, colors by Federico Blee, Andreas Mossa, Eric Arcianega, letters by VC's Clayton Cowles. Woo Dae Shim did the cover art, and the variant cover art is Annie Wu. Look, there's a whole bunch of characters in here. You got Arrow, Swordmaster, Wave, the Hawaiian goddess of fire and lava, Pele. You've got characters from all over the place. South Korea. I think there's Shang-Chi for one. Cindy Moon, the Silk. You got Braun, Amadeus Cho. You got Crescent, Dan B. And Amy Han, the White Fox. And let me tell you something. My favorite right now is White Fox. She is beautiful. She turns into that freaking wolf. I know her name, Kui Hong, I think her name is. Shoot, what the heck was it? No, Kumio. It's Kumio. Why am I saying Koan? I can't find it, but I know that it's Kumio. Anyway, dude, yeah, I would read a solo story. I would absolutely read a solo story by her right now, as long as we have the same art team on it. You know, I want to see Federico's Blees popping colors. I want to see Gang-Hyuk Lim doing this beautiful art. Like, that's what I want to see. Dude, look, there are multiple stories out there, all right, for the War of the Realms events. Not all of them are good. Some of them are even worse. Some of them are worse than not even good. I hate saying it because when they advertise this as, oh, the story that Jason Aaron has been preparing for 10 years, 50 years, 124 years, I think it was like 3 to 5 years, I think they said. This should be a whole hell of a lot better than that, man. I'm just saying. If I had 5 years to prepare for a series of meetings that I was going to have, you better damn well believe that there are going to be some freaking awesome meetings. I mean, when I teach, I get like 15 minutes to prep sometimes if I'm lucky. On average, it's like 5 to 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And that's still got to be a great class for these kids. They have to be great classes for these kids. Otherwise, they tell their parents and we get in trouble. Because we all know who's really the boss today. So it kind of hurts a little bit when you talk about how there was so much planning put into this, but you just have this event that it just doesn't feel right. It's supposed to be so world-threatening, universe-threatening, all 10 realms, man. And I'm just like, meh, you know? This story, though, you got all these characters from different parts of Asia and like greater Asia area, Philippines, Hawaii, which is technically America, but I don't know, whatever, the Polynesian areas, all right? You got so many different characters here, and they don't work well together. You see, right away, that's going to fly in the face of a lot of American readers who are just going to be like, well, they're all Asians, so why don't they all get along? Because they're not all the same. They're very different from each other. They've got their own national pride. They've got their own national responses. They've got to worry about their own peoples. And it takes a greater message for them to be able to work together to fight the common threat, the threat at its source, as opposed to the red herrings that are being thrown out. Like, oh, there are fire demons in my land, and oh, there are big fire bugs in my land, and oh, fire in our land. Yeah, that's really cute. But what do you say if you go and actually stop the source? You know, a firefighter doesn't shoot the water at the flames. It shoots the water at the ground to try and get try and stymie it at the source. And that's what they're trying to do in this issue. They're trying to get these characters to all come together. The way they do it, I have spent some considerable amount of time of my life devoted to the martial arts, mostly the Japanese martial arts, a little bit of Taekwondo, but mostly the Japanese martial arts. I know a lot of people in the martial arts field. I know people in Kung Fu. I know a lot of people who do much, Payjet Salat. So all over the world, different forms of the martial arts, different customs from different backgrounds. So I know the strength that is inherent in everybody working together to do like communal kata, so to speak, to do like, Tai Chi on the beach. Everybody just working together in harmony. Synchronous, is that a word? Well, it is now. It's officially a word now. This is a great book if you understand what's actually happening here. I can't speak to you as an insider for Marvel. I simply can't do that. I don't have that ability. But really looking in depth as to what I'm seeing here, I'm seeing the comic book invasion into manga. Finally. The incorporation, the inclusion of manga into the comic books. Comic books have tried it before. They've put comic books in the manga section, but they weren't actually mangas. Sometimes they've drawn comic books in manga fashion, but it's still not manga. And anybody who reads manga will know, you can't just, paint stripes on a pig and call it a tiger. That's never gonna work. This is actually getting the people who do manga to come over and incorporate it into comic books. They've already successfully incorporated comic books into manga, over in in Japan. This is something entirely different. This is something that, why do I seem so, so attached to this? Because I see this as being something that could potentially save the comic book industry and get more people involved. Something like this is that gateway comic book that can get people who, live in the Asian countries and just kind of be like, I don't really dig comic books too much. This comic book is kind of cool. Hey, wait a second, this comic book is really cool. Oh, they're going to do this comic book. Some of these comic books are actually kind of cool. And then all of a sudden, now they can start reading regular old American Spider-Man. And we, perhaps, can more easily start reading some of the stuff that's over there. More than just Dragon Ball. Maybe they could bring back Fruits Basket. Who knows? But the idea is, this comic book right here, all right? And I don't just mean this issue. No. This title, The New Agents of Atlas, I feel that potentially this could be the comic book that genuinely saves the comic book industry from slumping sales. And how? Inclusion. It's a beautiful thing. And it's about time comic books started actually putting their money where their mouths are. It took me a while to actually see what could potentially happen here. Honestly, like, this could just be me talking as a marketer and seeing what the potential is here. Or what I'm hoping for is that I'm finally seeing what they've already been planning. This could plant the seeds of getting comic books becoming a universal medium. And they should be. They undeniably should be. Put comic books back in hospitals, kids' hospitals and whatnot. Put comic books, in the libraries. Put comic books all over the place. Put comic books on coffee tables. Some people don't even have coffee tables anymore. We don't do that anymore. We're more nuclear than ever. This is an awesome comic book. It really is. And this is the kind of comic book that builds bridges. Didn't tell you anything about the story, did I? Shang-Chi beats up gods in this. If that's not enough to get you into it, besides what I already told you, it was nice seeing you. Get the comic book, though. Get the comic book. If I'm right, these 4 issues, these are going to be worth a lot. I know that speaks to a whole different audience. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.